Have you ever asked yourself, why does my healthy cat seem to have stomach issues? This question can stump even the smartest cat lovers and leave vets scratching their heads. The truth is, a cat is a ticking time bomb for GI issues, unless you know what to specifically watch for. It's a serious problem that needs a solution, but be encouraged. After years of first-hand experience with Maine Coon cats, we at Giant Gems Cattery have found the solution. We've turned our greatest findings into a 3-part video series. Each video is packed with important information to assist you with diagnosing and resolving most stomach problems. Welcome to part 1. In this video we're going to go over what to look for, and then how to handle a cat that appears to be in generally good health, but is still revealing stomach symptoms. Each progressive video will deal with a higher level of severity, and is a must-watch if you're going to conquer once and for all your cat's GI issues. Early detection is key, and if successful, the symptoms usually disappear within a day or two. And just a disclaimer, none of these videos are meant as a replacement for a vet's advice. First off, a cat's stomach isn't as tough as a dog's. Even the healthiest of cats will vomit every now and then. Keeping your cat's gut health happy is a bit of a balancing act. You've got to think about what kind of food they're eating, how it's prepared and served, parasites and bacteria they might come into contact with, and in extreme cases, how much stress are they experiencing. If your fur buddy starts throwing up or if we find weird poop in the litter box, it's totally normal to get worried. Add in a sudden lack of appetite or weight loss, and the worry can increase. But don't panic. It's probably not as bad as you might think. The second big thing to remember is that stomach problems can take a while to fix. Think of it like a marathon, not a sprint. Adjust your expectations accordingly. The longer it takes you to diagnose the issue, the harder it is to stop. More serious problems can take up to 6 months to resolve, so let's nip it in the bud quickly. Now, let's talk about figuring out what's wrong. Your cat's poop can tell you a lot about a cat's stomach health. It will fall into one of 3 categories based on color and shape. This first video will cover the first category, healthy poop, brown and firm, like a Tootsie Roll. The next video will cover category number 2, persistent upset stomach, reddish, soft, runny, or custard-like. And then lastly, the third video we will cover the most serious of categories, seriously sick, yellowish, shapeless, or liquid. In the worst cases, scours. The main thing to blame for any stomach issue is, unsurprisingly, food. So, it's super important to think about both what you are feeding your cat and what they might be eating on their own. In this next chapter, we're not going to lecture you on what you should be feeding your cat, but more importantly, how food slowly makes your kitty sick. Whether you feed your cat raw, dry, or wet food, gut issues begin with an understanding of how cats naturally eat their food. Most cats will eat the majority of their food during the first visit to the bowl. Then they return about an hour or 2 later, if at all, to lick at what remains. Raw and wet foods will begin to spoil as soon as they are served. Within an hour, bacteria, and in the case of raw food, Salmonella and/or E. coli, will begin to form on the food. After 2 hours, the food bowl is a petri dish loaded with all kinds of nasty bugs. A cat's system can deal with this occasionally, but consistently over time being exposed will poison the balance of a cat's gut health. Word of warning to those that choose to feed raw food: once Salmonella or E. coli gets into a cat's GI tract, it's next to impossible to cure. Unfortunately, cats with this condition may never be 100% healthy again because of severe inflammation of the intestines. So by now you might be wondering if dry food is better? Think again. Even the best of dry foods are not immune to this scenario. It just takes a little longer to develop. With dry food, since most owners leave a full bowl out for days at a time, unless the food is rotated out every 3 days, the food at the very bottom of the bowl begins to spoil, and worst yet, because the cat's drool has moistened the food closer to the bottom, bacteria sets in. For a full description of the gut problems created by dry food, we encourage you to also watch our Warning the Terrifying Truth video. So when your healthy kitty vomits either clear water or a belly full of food, it may be an indication that their food was laced with bacteria. Bacteria is a very hard bug to defeat with any pet's food bowl. If you are going to have any chance of defeating bacteria or any other foodborne bug, you must use non-porous bowls that can handle repeated dishwashing at high temperature to properly sterilize. The solution to any food is replacing all serving bowls with stainless steel bowls and rotate the bowls out within 60 minutes of feeding. By implementing this change, we have eliminated the largest part of healthy cat vomiting issues. Now let's cover, what is your cat eating on their own? It's amazing how much trouble cats can find when they are left to their own devices. Cats are a curious bunch. Regardless of how thorough we are in cleaning our homes, our cats can root out old cat food, treats, human food, bread, crackers, old pizza crust, chocolates, French fries, as well as chew on plants, lick a stick of butter, or grease or oils left out in the kitchen. If you have a dog, cats love dog food. If they are eating the dog's food, they are ingesting bacteria. And then there is the trash cans. Of course, the trash can in the kitchen has human food leftovers, but it also has spoiled cat and/or dog food. Don't be surprised to watch them chew a hole in the bottom of a bag to get at the nasty morsels inside the trash bag. Finally, there are the non-food morsels. The wires they love to chew and sometimes swallow, Q-tips and Kleenex, plastic wrappers and bags, the catnip toys, strings, bugs, and an occasional prey or two, birds or mice. Everything I have listed will cause GI tract issues, and in the non-food morsels it will cause obstructions that will manifest itself quickly, requiring a trip to the emergency vet clinic for a very expensive procedure. A word to the wise, cat-proof your home because, in our experience, cats are part billy goat without the cast iron stomach. So all of these can give a cat a bad belly, causing stuff like throwing up and diarrhea. And the final tip for helping keep your healthy cat, a super healthy cat, is grooming. It might surprise you that a cat spends half of their waking hours grooming themselves, and whether you have a short hair or a long hair cat, that's a lot of hair being swallowed. Hairballs are a reality of cat ownership. It is a part of every healthy cat's life, but hairball vomiting can be substantially reduced by regularly grooming your feline friend. Our Maine Coon cats have very long hair. And even though we have, on average, over 12 big cats, we very rarely find a vomited hairball on the floor. We believe our success is from grooming each cat consistently every 2 weeks, with a specific focus on making sure to perform a butt trim to eliminate matting and dingleberries. For a complete guide to grooming, check out our video, Cat Grooming Tips and Tricks. Catching these issues early is the real trick to curing GI issues. The better you are at it, the healthier your furry friend will be. What your cat eats is key in keeping their digestion running smoothly. Stick around for our next video, where we'll get into the more persistent stomach issues and how to treat them.